Hello again. So today, or tonight, was a very long day for me. So I'm filming this after a very long work day. So again, if I look super tired, if I sound tired, it's what we're working with. This is what you're getting today. A very tired, sleepy pumpkin witch. Just really feel like a pumpkin, like how those pumpkins look like a month after, maybe not a month, but like a few days after you carve it, and they're all like old and gross and falling apart and very squishy. That's me. I'm old, I'm gross, I'm falling apart, and I'm very squishy. The movie that I'm going to be talking about today, I actually had originally thought it was an anthology, and I was really excited about it because like I had seen this movie on a list somewhere, but the list was for anthologies, but it's not. When I started it, I rented it off YouTube. I think it was like $3.99 or something like that, really, really affordable. When I rented it, I was like, and I started it, I was like, all right, starting off really strong, but then it just kind of kept going in the same story, and I was like, oh, this is not an anthology, but it's okay. I was pleasantly surprised. I haven't really touched much on like foreign films on this channel, but like I really do love a lot of I love a good Japanese horror. I like a lot of South Korean horror. There's a couple from Taiwan that I've seen that I've really liked, but I'm open to like any and all countries and languages. But I do want to go in and start that this movie is Argentinian. And it is in Spanish, so just be ready. If you know Spanish, then hey, a good time to listen and practice if you're like learning. If not, I've never cared about subtitles. I usually have subtitles on even for English speaking movies, so like again, I'm old. I feel like I need to read what they're saying to really fully grasp. I just don't want to miss anything, you know? And if you're one of those people that doesn't like watching foreign films unless it's dubbed or whatever, I'm not gonna say you're weak and your bloodline will be bred out eventually, but I will say that my homie Bong Joon-ho, the director of the movie Parasite from 2019, he said it best. Here's a little clip of him telling you what's good.
자막, 서브타이틀의 장벽도 아니죠. 한 1인치 정도 되는 그 장벽을 뛰어넘으면 여러분들이 훨씬 더 많은 영화를 즐길 수 있습니다.
Once you overcome the 1-inch tall barrier of subtitles, you will be introduced to so many more amazing films.
And there you have it. But anyway, enough shenanigans. Let's just get right into this review. Like always, I'll give you a little description. What I normally do is I just literally pull a synopsis or an overview off the internet, and then I'll play a trailer over it. All of the descriptions for this movie are super short, so I'm just gonna kind of tell you what it's about briefly, off the cuff. I don't have any notes. I do have the Spanish name for the movie in the director written down here, but then the rest is just going to be coming from my memory. So good luck, future editing Katie, with this. Have fun with that. This movie is called Terrified. The Spanish name is Aterrados. God, please, I'm so sorry to anyone who's listening that speaks fluent Spanish or is from Argentina or any of the Spanish-speaking countries. I'm so sorry. Yes, this movie is called Terrified. It's from 2017. It was written and directed by Demian Rugna. Again, sorry. This movie centers a detective and two paranormal researchers who investigate some strange events that are happening in a neighborhood in Buenos Aires. It's really centered around the strange occurrences that are happening in this neighborhood. It's really just two houses, two homes that face each other on this little dinky neighborhood. But it opens really strong with a couple experiencing paranormal issues. And then later, the neighbors across the street, it's like a single mother and a child, I think. It's not a spoiler, it's literally in the trailer, but like her son gets hit by a car and dies. And it's like these really strange paranormal, like dimensional shifts are happening. Creatures are visible in like the darkness and in the light, and you see them from different perspectives, and you can see them even though they're affecting the current dimension. It's really trippy, but it does a really good job of like kind of describing it and mapping it out really well. It is a ghost movie, paranormal, spooky time. Honey baby, you're okay. Mommy's recording. They start the movie off really strong. Like, I can't explain it. The way that they do the jump scares and the gore, there's something so unsettling about it. It's almost like it's moving only a little bit faster it normally would be going. Like, that's such a weird sentence or a weird way to describe it. There's like a scene at the beginning with like the girl from the couple that lives across the street from the mother and son. She's being like tormented by a ghost and like her body's like flying through the air and shit. That was so jarring and so upsetting, and like the makeup for like the kids, like the dead kid, like holy crap, like it's just so realistic. And I found myself feeling like really unnerved, and after I watched this movie, I legit had to be like, okay, I'm gonna watch some cartoons before I go to bed or I am not gonna be able to sleep. I left my hall light on. I'm 30 and I had to sleep with my hall light on. Like, this movie lives up to its name. I was terrified. The jump scares were like, oh, chef's kiss. Like, there was one, ooh, just, I can't. I want you to be just as terrified as I was when it happened. But, like, there are a really good handful of jump scares that, just made me shit my pants. Like, it was so good. I will say they get a little bit gratuitous with like CG and like the gore, and it gets a little bit too jump scare heavy towards the end. But I mean, if you like a lot of like tension or like thriller, like if you like the jump scares, then this movie's perfect for you. But it just had a different flair to it that I haven't seen in movies recently. So this was a really nice surprise. It was very much like a gem, like a hidden gem. At least for me. I haven't really seen anything about this movie anywhere. And like I said, I rented this movie on YouTube. Pretty sure you can rent it anywhere. I know that I saw it on Prime, Vudu. You can rent it on Vudu. But it is definitely worth a watch, especially if you want something that's gonna like kind of stay with you. The effects, like how the ghosts look, specifically the first ghost that you kind of see, and they started off very quick. But the first ghost you see, ooh, literally terrifying. Like, whoever their special effects or makeup director was, like, ooh, they knew it was good. And it like held my attention all the way through it. I will say I had to pause it quite a few times. I was doing some stuff. Like, I wish that I hadn't been like multitasking while watching this movie. I actually might go back and rewatch it from start to finish without like pausing it to get up or do my laundry or whatever. Man, I was just so pleasantly surprised by this. I hope that I can find more movies like this, ones that like genuinely freak me out, and ones that I haven't like really heard anything about, or there's no hype around it. It was really just kind of came out of nowhere, and I appreciated that. I do give it 3.5 stars out of 5. It only loses points because the more you see the ghosts and the more that you see like the entities at play that are causing all this like ruckus, the CG isn't super great, like the effects aren't super great, and I do feel like they lean really hard on jump scares towards the end. And I do feel like the plot point of like how the ghosts were there, why they were there, they didn't go into a lot of detail with it. They didn't describe it super well. And I would have liked to have maybe known more background behind the paranormal investigators. They just touch very briefly on them. I think you learn more about the detective. And I don't know, like, the characters weren't super easy to get invested in. I wasn't invested in any character, really. So yes, I do strongly suggest you watch this. If you watch it, let me know what you thought. This is one of those movies that, like, I really want to know other people's feedback because it genuinely freaked me out. But I feel like I could see why people maybe would think it was corny or cheesy or like not really super scary. I know jump scares aren't super effective for everybody. And I know some people genuinely don't like them because they're a bit too much. Can I help you in some way, ma'am? My cat is behind the camera. She is just beside herself with me filming. She thinks it's the most ridiculous thing that I am filming instead of giving her attention, which, let's be honest, it's pretty ridiculous. I should want to spend every second of my free time just giving her pets and kisses and treats, but you know, here I am having a hobby and doing something else. How dare I? And the fact that the movie stays in like one area, and you know, I've mentioned this a couple of times in past videos where like you can kind of tell what kind of budget people are working with when like the set or like where they are doesn't change much, and it's easy to make your movie like, I don't know, like it becomes boring because there's not a lot going on or a lot of environmental change. But it didn't really affect the movie that much. In fact, I think it worked in its favor. But yeah, guys, so that's all I really wanted to share about this movie, Terrified. If you watch it, please let me know. Comment down below. Let me know what you thought. If you've seen it before, do you remember anything about it? Did it stand out to you? How do you feel about foreign films? Do you care about reading subtitles? Do you demand that they be dubbed? So thanks for tuning in on this video. This is my 10th video, you know, celebratory. So yeah, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.